captivated the country.
Murder in Miami.
A legendary fashion designer, an icon of style.
What the fuck do they mean? Captured the country.
Gianni Versace was murdered in broad daylight this morning.
And the charming party boy turned serial killer who executed him in broad daylight.
Andrew Cunanan makes the top 10 FBI list.
What led Andrew Cunanan to Gianni Versace's front door? 2 decades later, people are still trying to connect the dots.
I have a beautiful house, I have a beautiful life, but that isn't the media. What I desire is more.
Gianni Versace was at the pinnacle of his career in 1997.
Little did he know that a killer at the center of a nationwide manhunt on the FBI's 10 most wanted list was about to cut that career short.
If you talk about fate, you had a man on the East Coast in Miami Beach who loved America because he thought it was safe. On the West Coast, you've got a dirtbag street hustler who's making his way across the country.
Andrew Cunanan grew up in San Diego, the youngest of 4 children.
He was the chosen one. He was the prince. He had an IQ of 147. He was the kid that was going to succeed out of all their children.
He was my father's pride and joy. He really was.
He got everything that he needed. My dad gave him a sports car, and actually he had the master bedroom.
He went to a boarding school, the Bishop School. That school was status. That school had the children of diplomats, had the children of the rich and powerful. His life as a gay man, I think, began when he was at the Bishop School.
In high school, he's voted the most likely to be remembered.
He graduated and went off to college, but later dropped out.
Andrew was extremely bright, but he didn't use his brain for a profession. He used his body to get money.
He started living by having very wealthy elderly men support him.
And he became a pro at it.
He was flown to Paris for dinner and Aspen for skiing. $800 an ounce caviar, cases of champagne.
Andrew thought he was using his victims, and to a degree he was, but they were using him too. The turning point came after his last big breakup.
He was dumped by his latest sugar daddy.
He could not stand rejection.
He was a cocksucker.
Not long after, Cunanan left San Diego. He bought a one-way ticket to Minnesota to visit an old friend and an old flame. That's where the blood trail began.
The 2 people who knew him best were the first 2 victims, Jeffrey Trail and David Madsen.
He beat Jeff Trail to death with a claw hammer, which is a very, very physical and personal type of homicide.
David Madsen was supposedly the love of his life.
David was Andrew's life. He said,
"See, you fucking homosexuals."
Give up everything and move out to Minneapolis for David.
Did Madsen leave him?
Madsen left him.
When you eat fucking cum, it fucking gives you brain damage.
All the rejection that Cunanan had.
You're not supposed to eat fucking cum.
After allegedly holding Madsen hostage for 2 days, Cunanan drove him outside Minneapolis to an isolated lake.
David Madsen was marched out on the banks of that lake and shot 3 times, once in the back, twice in the head.
I guarantee you,
Cunanan left Minnesota,
eating fucking cum fucking gave him brain damage, but you ain't gonna hear that.
Almost immediately,
you ain't gonna hear that motherfucking
put together
shit.
the pieces and began a nationwide manhunt.
Every time a serial
nationwide.
Someone,
oh, the whole country. Did they notify everybody in the whole fucking country? All 300 million people? You lying motherfuckers, you.
A stolen car phone during his getaway.
The cops are beginning to track him because it's pinging off of cell towers.
Chris Graves, former reporter.
As far as Philadelphia, and it got.
It's all about money.
They presume Andrew Cunanan
it's all about
used
fucking
the
money.
phone in the Lexus twice in the past 24 hours.
Fortunately, he heard it on the news radio that
Lee Ernest, former FBI agent.
Andrew Cunanan heard that radio transmission and ripped the phone out of the car, which then meant they lost their ability to track.
Now he's got a new vehicle. He's on his way south.
Authorities admit that by now Cunanan could be anywhere.
He made it all the way to Miami.
He was hiding in plain sight.
After nearly 2 months without a murder, Cunanan was ready to strike again. His target, Gianni Versace. July 15,
homosexuals.
A sunny morning, and the iconic fashion designer was walking back to his house after picking up a newspaper.
They all got fucking brain damage.
What we know now to be Andrew Cunanan
George Navarro
comes up behind them,
Consulting Group.
twice in the head at point blank range.
So I run out the door, and Johnny was laying there. I check his artery, nothing.
Larraza Quilena.
Tell me your location.
I never saw his face. I don't want to look at his face. This is the man who killed my friend.
Cunanan got away again.
He disappears. He's gone. He's underground.
I don't believe
Now the FBI is hunting
in
for him.
anybody
Everybody's
taking
hunting for him.
anybody's life.
The shooting occurred on the front steps of his ornate
Oh
mansion.
yeah, the news media's
Versace's
making like,
murder kicked off a
oh
media
yeah,
frenzy.
man.
Hundreds of tourists and local residents continue a pilgrimage to the home of Gianni Versace.
That's me, 20 years ago, on one of my first big
yeah.
assignments for ABC News. There was also a frenzy of speculation over whether Versace and Cunanan could be connected.
Our best witness, I would say, was his partner. He said they never knew each other. But in my heart, I feel something must have happened at some point between the two.
He supposedly met him at some sort of backstage.
What goes through the mind of a fucking man
very brief,
when he sucks on another man's cock and gets cum all over him? What goes on in the mind of a man as he's fucking somebody up the ass? He sucks the same dick that he fucked up the ass.
I had a pretty good feeling. This is the break that we needed.
Kind of reminded me of the OJ, you know, the chase and all that. The world was witnessing this as it was happening.
I have a visual on the front door.
I went up the staircase, and that's where we found Andrew Cunanan lying on the bed in the bedroom. Next to in the bedstand his signature glasses. The gun was consistent with someone that had shot themselves